One of my most favorite survival maritime stories of all time is that of the Dundonald. It was launched in Belfast in 1891. This was a British ship, and it wrecked off the coast of New Zealand. It's the year 1907, and the crew of the Dundonald, there were 28 men. They were sailing to New Zealand carrying wheat when the ship wrecked. 17 out of 28 of the men were able to get to shore. Upon arriving to shore, one of those men fell off of a cliff and was never seen again. A second man passed 18 days later due to exposure. The shore they made it to was called Disappointment Island. It was a very small island, and there was usually a cabin on site that had supplies, food, maybe even a boat, but unfortunately it wasn't stocked during this season. The men survived for a bit eating raw mollymocks because the matches in their pocket weren't dry enough for them to start a fire. They did eventually start that fire and were able to keep that fire going for the 7 months that they were trapped on Disappointment Island. During this time, they also took shelter by digging holes in the ground and trying to cover it up with sticks and other things they found on the island. The island didn't have many trees at the time. Months in, the men realized that help was not coming to Disappointment Island, and they may very well never be seen again. And so they started collecting twigs and sticks and branches, and they created a coracle, and here they are with their coracle. The very first coracle that they made actually did not achieve making it to the second island. It did crash, so they built a second coracle, and it is currently on display. I think it's important to note that not all of the men were able to sail on the coracle to Auckland Island, but the ones that did were able to find a food depot that was stocked with food and a boat, but the boat didn't have any sails. So what did they do? The men cut up their clothes to create sails and sailed naked to get their friends. The crew of the Hinamoa ended up rescuing them shortly thereafter, and they were taken to New Zealand where they were patched up and cared for. What do you think? Do you think you could survive Disappointment Island like the 15 courageous crew members did?